Okay, so now I'm going to review what we learned today in class. We're going to talk about the plate boundaries. Now, don't forget, plate boundaries are places where the tectonic plates meet. So tectonic plates are just pieces of rock that form on the surface of the Earth. So the Earth is not just one complete ball. It's actually made up of sections of very thick layers of rock. And where those sections come together is called a plate boundary. So this whole section here would be a tectonic plate, and where this plate meets another plate, we call it a plate boundary. Now, we need to remember that we talked about three different types of plate boundaries. We talked about convergent plate boundaries. Now, convergent, don't forget the video that we watched. Remember Convergent Collides? That means the plates actually come together and collide with one another. And sometimes you actually get one plate rising up over the other one. You might get both plates rising up, or you might get both plates actually crushing against one another and get deformations in the rock. The next type we talked about was divergent. And don't forget, divergent means that they divide. So they come apart, actually. So where these two plates meet, they actually start to pull apart. And these are actually kind of neat because you get these big, huge valleys where they pull apart, and then you get this very thin, so let's draw it on the side. So let's say these two plates pulled apart, and you get this valley in the middle. And a lot of times what happens is it sort of weakens that crust, and you can get magma coming up and filling it in. Or one of the things that actually happens is it actually divides continents. So if the valley gets large enough, the continent can actually get divided into a couple of different pieces. So that's kind of a neat thing. And the next type is the transform boundary. And this is where the boundaries are actually moving past one another. So let's say this is one plate over here and another plate over here. And what will happen is they'll actually one will slide one way and one will slide the other way, or they'll both be sliding in the same direction, but one will slide faster than the other. And we see this, actually, this is what's happening on the edge of North America, actually in California. California is actually, along its plate boundaries, is actually sliding. So if you come back to visit Earth in the future, you'll find that some of the cities in California are no longer where they were when you left Earth. So it's kind of a neat thing. So transform slides. That means the boundaries slide past one another. And sometimes they get caught, and when something gets caught, it's usually, I don't know if you've ever caught your sweater on a chair or something, it starts to pull you back, and that same kind of thing happens here. And you'll get devastating earthquakes and things like that when these transform boundaries get caught on one another. There are usually lots of energy involved, and we have instances like earthquakes. So don't forget, transform slide, divergent divides, and convergent collides. Okay, convergent, collide, divergent, divide, and transform slide.